Well, hello again. You join me here on the banks of the Arakara River in Fukushima, where I'm preparing to ride 122 kilometers today from Fukushima to Iwaki. And of course my preparation involves only the finest breakfast from Lawson's. Bit of ham, cheese and egg action, bit of natto action, bit of premium boss action. Only the most premium for me. And I was also just informed by the person that runs the hostel I was staying at last night that there's often roads between Fukushima and Iwaki that are closed. And that makes sense, it's because of the nuclear power plant. And we had a check this morning and it should be fine. But that 122 kilometers could become a little bit longer, so hopefully that isn't the case. It should be fine, but we'll make it in the end either way. So I'm going to scrounge down some of this food and then we'll get straight on the road. And also I've not even ridden my bike 1 kilometer yet and I've already managed to scuff up my leg with grease. Lovely. Finding a nice spot to eat konbini food is all fun and games until you remember that you have to carry your rubbish around with you and then find another konbini to dump it in afterwards. Almost feel bad just going into the shop and just dumping my rubbish and leaving. And I've also had to whip the jacket out because it's a bit chilly this morning. Hopefully it ends up like yesterday where the sun comes out and it ended up being quite glorious after a chilly start. Because yesterday's weather was one of those magical days since I've been in Japan so far. Because the sun was out, it was over 20 degrees, but it wasn't extremely humid. There was a bit of a cool breeze. Perfect cycling conditions really. And it looks like the sun's starting to poke out a little bit now. And I can definitely feel that I won't be wearing this jacket too much longer, so not to get my hopes up too much, but hopefully it'll be another very good day for weather. This might not be my longest distance day, but this is the day that involves the most amount of climbs, so the jacket came off immediately. And that's because, as I was saying yesterday, my legs just aren't trained enough at the minute for some of the hills out here. Because I do the majority of my rides in Tokyo city centre. Which probably means I should get out of the city centre, shouldn't I? It's probably a smart idea. And currently I'm also on a bit of a vending machine hunt right now. Because I don't normally dip into the electrolyte drink well when I'm only about 20k into a ride. But yesterday I did make a bit of a whoopsie of not quite drinking enough water during the ride and definitely not drinking enough water after the ride. So woken up this morning feeling a bit dehydrated, feel a bit of a headache coming on, which isn't ideal. And staying hydrated is definitely at the top of the list of importance when it comes to bike riding. And I say I'm on a vending machine hunt when I'm clearly stood next to two right here. And that's because I've only got 140 yen in usable vending machine coins. And I've went past about 6 vending machines so far, and all of their sports drinks are 150 and up. Except for the first one that I saw, which had Pocari Sweat at 140, but it was sold out. So that's basically what I'm looking for again, but I haven't found it in about 6 vending machines. But that was only in the span of 15 minutes though, because these bloody things are everywhere. Which is very useful for when you're on a bike and when you're in places like this, which aren't exactly brimming with shops. And it's also a vending machine hunt and not just a trip to the konbini, because it currently looks like I'm not too close to a konbini right now. Anyway, going on a little hunt's more fun, isn't it? I might have just had to do a 2.5 kilometer climb first, but we have success. Kieran loves sport, and it's only 100 yen. I've been asking myself for almost an hour now why I've been punishing my legs on some of these climbs. But it has led me to another lovely little shrine here, so it's time to go see what this one's all about. Let's go to avoid the spider first. If you go to shrines regularly, you'll be bloody fit in no time with the amount of stairs. But all those stairs are worth it, because it does lead you to somewhere absolutely beautiful. Again, another gem that I wouldn't have found if I wasn't on a bike. I am going to leave this one again prematurely because there has been a hornet that's been circling me for some time up here, so I think I'm going to run away now. But also more things to stop and have a look at, and this time it's hopefully hornetless. This is Keikoji Temple, I believe, and it looks lovely from down there, so I'm sure it'll look even better from up here. And it certainly does. It's absolutely lovely. But I don't know how much more I'm going to stop at temples and shrines today, to be honest. Because with how slow I've been going up these hills, I feel like I'm quite behind on time. So I feel like now I just need to put my foot down for a bit and try and get to the second half of the ride, which is pretty much all downhill. So I just need to give myself a moment now just to appreciate some of the stuff that's here. Because it is another absolutely beautiful sight. But I am also wondering how much foot traffic temples and shrines like this actually get when they're in the middle of nowhere like this. Because as much as it's a nice, you know, like hidden away spot or whatever, it's a shame that more people don't get to see it. But what's not going to be a shame is the spot that I picked for lunch today. And I know yesterday wasn't perfectly traditional, although it was very, very good.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Now I know skier, a fast food restaurant, isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but I saw it on the map and my belly knew no bounds. Obviously you've seen it was very good though, and obviously no meal on my bike tour is complete without a little dessert from the Konbini. And we're at a mini stop today, which is normally on the bottom tier of convenience stores, but they've got good soft serve, which my belly just found out. On the subject of beef bowl chains and Konbinis though, I feel like I've been here long enough now to throw my opinion out there of how I'd rank them and how I think they stack up against each other. So for the beef bowl chains, I reckon that Yoshinoya is number 1. I reckon that Skier, that you've just seen there, is number 2, and then Matsuya is last. That were the 3 big ones anyway, but saying that, Matsuya is the one that I go to the most. But that's because it's the closest chain to my house, and you know, I'm a bit of a lazy bastard. But man, the beef bowl chains here, they're so good. The price for what you're getting is actually unbelievable. It's one of the things I really wish we had in the UK. If Yoshinoya can get themselves over to, I know the price will be inflated if that happened, but come on, please. But if I only have to take one chain to the UK, that would have to be my favourite one overall, which is Yakiniku Like, which might be a bit of an out there choice, but it's a solo Yakiniku place, and you know, it means you don't have to go through all the faff of trying to organise a group to go for a nice Yakiniku meal with. There's locations everywhere in Tokyo So anytime you want a bit of grilled meat, just hop in, get a plate, you're sorted. For Konbinis though, this is where it might become, you know, more fighting talk. But my list is 7-Eleven is the best, then Family Mart, then Lawson, then Mini Stop, then Yamazaki. Now I haven't gone truly deep with every item in every shop to really give a detailed breakdown of why I think that way. But that's just my gut feeling and that's what I'm going with. But if you include Lawson 100 into the Lawson category, then that could potentially bump it up a place, maybe even to the top. There's a lot of good snacks and good drinks to have at a very cheap price there. And it's like right next to where I live. So that also factors into it. But for now, I'm gonna get a move on. I'll probably talk to you a couple more times before the sun really starts to set. I mean, it's not that late yet, but I kind of feel like getting a bit of a move on, so I'll see you later. Current stretch has been so nice. I couldn't live somewhere this rural personally, but rolling through these small towns has been such a pleasure. But I've just stopped at another shrine and my lord, there is a lot of stairs. Why am I doing these things to myself? Oh man, I'm regretting my life decisions already. As I said earlier today, if you visit shrines regularly, you will be very fit. This is definitely the longest staircase I've been up so far. I've got to remember though, that the stairs are always worth it. Got another absolutely beautiful shrine here. But the pace is better now, because it seems like we're starting the descent rather than just going uphill all the time. And shock and revelation, but I'm someone who prefers to ride in the daytime rather than the nighttime. And Japan's one of the countries that does get dark earlier than pretty much everywhere else in the world. So I'm going to continue moving forward and see if I can start to pick up even more of a pace towards Iwaki. And I know I've only just started doing these videos, but trying to balance wanting to see all these temples and shrines, wanting to eat all the food and stop everywhere, but also trying to get to your destination in a reasonable time, it's proven quite difficult. So, you know, practice makes perfect. We'll get there in the end. So give myself a few more minutes, appreciate this shrine a little bit more, and then we'll get going. I am technically wearing mountain bike shoes, but I feel like my cleats are going to slip on these stairs any second. What a way to go that would be. Oh, bloody hell, I actually did nearly trip over twice there. My life actually flashed before my eyes for a second. But we're not done yet, 2 more staircases to go. And I didn't die, so that was a successful mission. Yo, what is this? Ah, interesting. Well, after having a quick look, it appears to be some sort of theme park, attraction, museum about dolls. And it's aimed at little kids, so to avoid looking like a freak with a camera outside of it, I'm just going to move right on. I'm proving to myself over this trip that my route plot skills are not that great, but some of the stretches today just keep on giving and giving. So nice out here. Wait, well that was a fun stretch, wasn't it? But if you ride bikes normally, you could probably see my anxiousness when I'm turning around corners going fast. I don't know, man. I can't get over that mental block of turning around these corners at a speed. That's also why I need to get out of Tokyo more and practice hills, so I can not only train my legs, but I can practice descending more. And I've just realized I've never changed my ISO so far as I've been filming, and that's set manually, so hopefully you'll actually be able to see all of that. Otherwise, it's a bit of a shame. Actual elevation wise, I don't think I've done anything too crazy today, to be fair. But coming down, it's always nice to appreciate how far you've actually came up. And obviously it's very fun as well. As a British person, I get too anxious when I'm stopped at the side of the road. So unprepared for any insect or any animal that might do a little bit of harm to me. I feel like I'm living life on the edge. I did see a snake earlier, which is something I do actually have a fear of, so that was nice. Tell you what, I don't like the look of this elevation profile that's coming up. It's only for a very short period of time though, so it'll only rip my legs off a little bit. Well, fortunately, my maps was wrong, and that steep elevation didn't make an appearance at all. Which is something I've noticed actually. I don't know whether it's Hammerhead or Ride with GPS. It mustn't be Ride with GPS, because a lot of people in Japan, when they're posting online, use Ride with GPS. But a lot of the time, some of the streets and some of the hills are just completely wrong. And it's not even now that I'm just in the middle of nowhere, because, you know, obviously it's not going to be too accurate when you're out here. But even sometimes in Tokyo, it says that you come into a hill, but really, you're just not at all. Maybe like a slight elevation, but it marks it as a climb on my device anyway. And something that must be Ride with GPS's fault. Because sometimes if you leave Ride with GPS to try and take you its own way, it tries to take you down streets, even in Tokyo as well as out here. It tries to take you down streets that just don't exist. So that always makes it quite fun. Luckily this road still exists, because I'm still having a blast going down here. I've been harping on about trying to get a move on all day, and that was definitely getting a move on. Made up so much time on that descent. Thought I was going to get in around 6 PM, but now it looks like I might actually get in around 5, so get to have my dinner earlier. And just like yesterday, we are at the time now where the sun will start to set, so I've came to one more temple just to round off our time together today. And this is Futoke Temple. Now I know I'm saying this every time, but it's a very nice place, isn't it? So I'm just giving myself a few quick minutes to decompress here after that very fast descent. And then we'll be making our way into Iwaki City. The final push. And I should be saying Iwaki when I say Iwaki, but my Geordie brain is just rotting anytime I get in front of this camera apparently. And just like yesterday, I will include some footage of me rolling into Iwaki, just because it'll round off the video nicely, put a nice little bow on everything. But that has been day 2 of me being cringe on a bike, and me cringing at everything I do with a camera in my hand. But I hope you're enjoying it so far, and I'll see you tomorrow.